The season has already come to an end for Cardinals veteran cornerback Sean Murphy-Bunting. What that means, who slides into his starting role in the Arizona Cardinals defensive secondary, Johnny Venerable?
Oh, no. Who could have seen this coming? It's PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. From Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Give us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is Brack in Studio K. Got our guy Damon, Dawg, producer extraordinaire behind the mic. Big day, big news, breaking news. Sean Murphy-Bunting done for 2025 and maybe for good with the Arizona Cardinals. We're going to break it all down. Brack, how we living?
We're living well, relatively well, as SMB, his tenure looks like it's done here in the desert. As Ian Rappaport noted today that SMB is going on the non-football injury list. What that means for the future of the Cardinals defensive secondary, what it means for the future of Smurf. We'll get into that. What's going on to everybody out there? Boise, Johnny's fixed smoke alarm still in unworking order. Love that. Jacob, Jules, Shaft, what's going on? The Jakey, Ken Weber, what's going on? T. Cleary, Zachary Pluff, Amadeus, The Art of Being Fired, G. Willikers, Coach Gusto. I love it. The entire gang's here to talk some ball on a May Thursday in the Valley of the Sun.
Everybody drop a like on this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. First of all, let me start off by saying we don't wish any ill will on any player, okay? And so, first of all, prayers up for Sean Murphy-Bunting and his injury, okay? Let's get that free and clear here at the top of the show. We wish Sean Murphy-Bunting the best. He did sustain an injury this offseason. This is what this little fanboy podcast is prepared to tell you. Bo, if you're comfortable, we'll just get right into it here. And we'll tell you what we're allowed to talk about because we have known about this, as many of you may have guessed, for some time now, as have the Arizona Cardinals. And so this is not new. This didn't happen yesterday. The Cardinals have known about this, we're told, since before free agency, which has not been reported. So we are officially putting that out there. Sean Murphy-Bunting sustained an injury before free agency. The Cardinals, to their credit, keeping it under wraps here because, again, if you let the league know, hey, we lost one of our outside starting corners, well, that impacts maybe how you negotiate with free agents. We reported on this show at the beginning of free agency, the Cardinals were going to do their due diligence on veteran corners, and then they brought in Asante Samuel. I think a lot of people at the time were like, why are they bringing in corners? They signed Sean Murphy-Bunting. They have Garrett Williams. They have Max Melton. This was why, okay? We couldn't talk about it at the time. And then certainly you don't want to report on it. You don't want it getting out there before the NFL draft. If teams know that Sean Murphy-Bunting is not going to play this year, then guess what? Maybe somebody jumps you for Will Johnson. Maybe somebody keys in on your need and exploits it, right? It's a big reason why. Go look at Sean Murphy-Bunting's Instagram. Go look at his social media. He's gone dark, right? And my guess is the Cardinals, I don't have the source or anything, this is just my guess. The Cardinals said, you need to sit tight while we figure this out. We got to put ourselves in position to go and improve this roster. And we don't need it out there that this happened. We're not going to get into how it happened. We're not going to get into the injury itself, right? I expect him to make a full recovery and hopefully play in the NFL for many years to come. But as far as the Cardinals go, their offseason of moves, right, were a result in some way to this news, right? Do I think they would have been as aggressive? Probably not.
when you look at players who find their way to the non-football injury list, sometimes it can be tragic and sometimes it can be, head scratch, right? And it's one thing that being put on that list with that designation often means you were not hurt playing football, you were not hurt at the team facility, and probably when you're dealing with your organization that you put ink to paper on and it's to sign a contract for millions of dollars, I can't imagine that the organization is too happy that you got injured, unfortunately, away from the facility or playing football. So, I'm sure we'll see what that means as far as the future of Sean Murphy-Bunting. But I think that they did properly navigate this off season as far as being able to fill the void. And for them to be able to move forward with a stock defensive backs room with big time prospects that can develop into guys that do project to be starting corners in this league, it seems to be like they did a really good job for themselves this offseason. And I see in the chat people are saying like addition by subtraction. I mean, I think that he had high aspirations for Sean Murphy-Bunting when they signed him last offseason. They liked him as a scheme fit. They liked him as a player. They liked him as a person. I think that they were content in wanting to move forward with him as a guy, as a member of their secondary, and then found out very, in the offseason that they need to pivot elsewhere. And as far as that pivot, man, Will Johnson or whoever wins the job in training camp, it's going to be well deserved.
And we don't want to get into source offs here. We're about being accurate, and when it's time to be accurate, I think the Cardinals flagship station, somebody put it out there that they said it happened on April 18th. That is incorrect. If that's what they're reporting or somebody else's, that's not correct. It happened before free agency. That's definitive, according to this show. And then there's also a rumor that's unfortunately gaining traction that he tore it playing basketball. We're told that is also not true. So I think all you need to know is he got hurt before free agency and allowed the Cardinals time to make improvements to their team accordingly. And to Bo's point, you don't wish anybody to get hurt, but had he gotten hurt practicing OTAs, mini camp in a game, he's compensated, right? Anytime that you get injured outside of the team facility, right, you are liable to what comes with that, right? And so that's the unfortunate part for Sean Murphy-Bunting. And I have no idea what the Cardinals are going to do financially. I know people are asking about saving money against I think if you ask me point blank, do you think he'll be on the team next year? I don't, in terms of 2026. I think you release him next offseason, you save money next offseason. This year, I'm not going to sit here and say Monty Ossenford is going to nickel and dime Sean Murphy-Bunting for all he's worth. These are human beings, right? And we want to be respectful of that. And he's not everybody's cup of tea at the position, right? He got kicked out of the finale last year, and he had some ups and downs. He was one of the few people who could take the football away on this team and until Will Johnson arrived and Garrett Williams. But I just feel I don't think it only matters how much the Cardinals pay him this year. They have a ton of cap space anyway. To me, it's let Gannon, Ossenford, and the football people deal with this. But people who are jumping to conclusions like it just happened, the Cardinals have been prepared and ready to go on this for a long time. And this had to be kept under wraps because of the sensitivity of the offseason and how teams navigate it. So we wish Sean Murphy-Bunting well, but I do think he's done playing for the Cardinals. And as we've said on this show, Bo and I have been consistent. We did not expect him to be on the team this year. And people thought that was based on play or whatever your assumptions were. We did not factor him into the team's plans this year. And now you see why.
Well, you can't factor him into the future when you look at the numbers crunch going forward. And we'll get into it. But, I mean, just the guys who are going to be vying to start on this team, it starts there. And I think it's a trio of corners, defensive backs that can play significant snaps at outside corner where Sean Murphy-Bunting played last season with Garrett Williams staying inside, playing in the slot nickel position. it just starts with Will Johnson, Max Melton, and Starling Thomas. And that's just right there. I mean, this is a team that has utilized a ton of draft capital. You look at his age, you look at, being lost for the season. I mean, for him to come back, he would be entering an absolutely what you would hope to be a stacked room. You don't want, if there's any question marks about this room going into next offseason, I mean, that's going to be a huge indictment as far as, these guys and their lack of development, which I've got confidence that they won't be in that spot just based on the caliber of players that they have there and prospects they have there. So yeah, man, this really does kind of just really feels like it spells the end of Sean Murphy-Bunting's, abbreviated Arizona Cardinals career. 3-year contract, $25.5 million, and he's essentially one and done.
Yeah, last year he did miss time, bounced in and out of the lineup to some degree, and again, was able to take the football away in timely fashion. So you got to give him credit. Had an interception, I think, against Jordan Love, and did some good things last year for this team. But I think to his credit, it's tough to succeed as a defensive back and play at a high level, in part when there's no pass rush, right? And that's why I was always, you give grace to Max Melton as a rookie who played well, and Garrett Williams, how well he's played. And I thought Starling Thomas was outstanding last year, and Keitrell Clark, G. Willikers saying making the 53. It certainly helps his case, but Sean Murphy-Bunting was signed last offseason to a 3-year deal and is going to end up playing just 1 year of it. It just kind of goes back to it's a tough gig being a GM and signing free agents, and we're excited about this group. Last year's group, we can continue to evaluate, but it's just not on paper, not looking great. Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, Sean Murphy-Bunting, I think 2/3 are probably not going to be with this team, maybe more, right? Bilal Nichols and Justin Jones are really going to have to bust their butt to stand out in training camp with the influx of talent. The Cardinals have brought in 3 supremely gifted defensive tackles this offseason. So yeah, we questioned the deals at the time, but we understood where the Cardinals were in terms of the rebuild, Bo. In hindsight, these deals they're not aging great for whatever reason.
Yeah. The question too is interesting. I saw it in the chat. Might have seen it a couple times. Would the Cardinals have been in the business of drafting Will Johnson 47th overall if this hadn't happened? Because it's interesting when you look at the logjam that is defensive tackle room, where it's more of a rotation, and even with that, there's opportunity. If you're if you make the roster, you still have to do that. And the guys you just mentioned, as far as that position group, the D line, it's going to be tough, right? But as far as the DB room, where you've got guys that are playing, more snaps than on the D line, that's a good question. I think just the caliber of prospect that Will Johnson is, and also his kind of what he profiles as in the defensive scheme that he played in at Michigan, where he's primarily a zone corner. I still think he's in play. And I know it's a silly game of hypotheticals.
No, I think it's an appropriate question to ask.
Yeah.
Here's what I will say. We know we had it sourced they were going to attack corner in free agency, and then you saw what was available. I mean, Asante Samuel Jr., they brought him in with the intent to vet him to see if they could bring him in to be a bridge guy, because Sean Murphy-Bunting was done. And then Asante Samuel Jr., according to Mike Garafolo, had to have surgery. So he came on our show, was not healthy. And I think the further the Cardinals got, they signed Darren Hall too, which we've omitted off the conversation. But the further that I think
he's kind of a hybrid. He's kind of a mix. Yeah, he's more of a nickel. He's a guy that doesn't play outside.
He's a depth player. I just mean, when that happened, people are like, "Is this the veteran?" I think the deeper the Cardinals got into free agency, the less they were really enthralled with that free agent class. There just wasn't a lot of quality vets available. Here's what I think. I think had Sean Murphy-Bunting been healthy, they would not have worked out all those other corners that they worked out with top 30 visits. But I think if Will Johnson falls to you make a special exception, because Max Melton played well last year, and Will Johnson probably would have been, a backup this year, at least to start. But then you look at, some of the pass rushers that were available at 47. Do they consider a pass rusher at 47 instead of, whatever it was, wherever they took Jordan Birch, and do they take a rotational corner there? Remember too, Elijah Jones was a top 100 pick last year, didn't play at all. Like he's going to have opportunities this year. It was a very loaded position group, and I think that's why a lot of people were skeptical about why are they still adding corners. And had we not been privy to this information, I would have been saying the same thing. But Will Johnson is a special set of circumstances. He's so gifted with the football, and now he's going to be put to the test. We're going to talk about the depth chart here in a second, Bo. But I think it probably we would have seen. Let's say they couldn't have gotten Will Johnson, I think they would have taken a corner, maybe third round. I think they would have done the same. They would have taken a corner for the third year in the third round. I think this is what would have happened.
I mean, they took one in the fifth round. It didn't. Right. Even when they had, depth of a guy that projects to be a starting caliber corner, that still didn't stop him from taking one in the fifth round, and Denzel Burke. So they're set up very nicely, and you're going to see a graphic later in the show that's really going to prove how much. They've leaned into that position in the draft, and how they've got it just by sheer numbers. I think the ability to find success at that spot, and it's a testament to Monty Ossenfort. Obviously, I think a lot goes into your head coach and his expertise, Jonathan Gannon being a defensive backs kingmaker. So, yeah, I mean, this is a team that is good at scouting the position. I think they've shown, and is always going to be able to try to find talent wherever they are roster wise, or in wherever they are, selecting in the NFL draft.
But again, this is Sean Murphy-Bunting. He's in the news cycle today, and we want to wish him well following his injury, and hopefully he lands on his feet. If the Cardinals do decide to release him after this year, but I saw there was speculation. NFI in the past, sometimes you can take them off, and there's different designations. He is not playing this year. That was right. Confirmed. He is not playing. So if you want to read into what the injury could potentially be, it's if he got hurt early in the offseason and he can't play this year, then it's pretty significant.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I don't think there's really any coming back. There would have to be. Sean Murphy-Bunting would have to kind of recontract himself with the organization to come back. Don't you think? I mean, yeah. As far as what this team holds to the highest, priority in putting yourself in a position to help the team win football games, to be placed just put yourself in a position to be on the non-football injury list. And there's freak accidents, like Antonio Hamilton, that was a freak accident,
right?
Who's cooking in his kitchen, and it's some things you just can't avoid. But I really don't think that there's much of a future, and they're going to really kind of move forward with guys that are available to them this season.
Yeah. This is such a youthful position group, but at the same time, we've talked about this before, Starling Thomas, Keitrell Clark, Garrett Williams have all been playing under the same head coach and coordinator. This is their third year. They're not, 20-year-olds. Keitrell Clark and Starling Thomas started a lot as rookies. Garrett Williams was thrust into the lineup his first game. He had an interception October of 2023. This is not a scenario in which oh man, they need veteran depth just to have it. I would say, look at what the Cardinals are doing at wide receiver for a good litmus test. Is they're starting two players under 25 years old, and they're not signing Keenan Allen. They feel this is how they feel comfortable. And we got an article going up at gophnx.com tomorrow. It's the Cardinals embrace youth because they feel comfortable in their ability and their high-level coaching staff to elevate and develop these players. You don't just need to go get a veteran to get a veteran, right? They signed Calais Campbell because he was really good last year for Miami, and he's on a one-year deal, and he's going to help them on and off the field. There are going to be people today, they're got to go out and get X player. It's no, I think you're going to look at a secondary in September, and it's probably going to have the 47th overall pick, maybe the best nickel corner in the NFL, and a kid who was a top 50 pick last year. That with a renewed pass rush. Give me athletes over, aging veteran corners over 30 years old.
There's such an expectation and standard within the organization, to really kind of, get rid of the rookie labels, young player labels, within your first year. To think that they're going to have third-year guys drafted in this organization under the current regime, second-year guys, and now first-year guys, but mostly the guys that have tenure. If they deem them unready or that they needed some sort of vet in that room to lead them, I think that they would view that as a failure in coaching, as far as the coaching staff, and they don't. I think they're very confident, especially the just kind of motivation, self-starter, just caliber of players that they have in that room specifically. They're not going to be like, hey, we just need a guy that's been around the block. We need a guy that is going to be able to tell you show you the ropes here. This isn't, insurance sales. You don't need Carl down the hall who knows how to, sweet talk, his clients, asking them about how their family's doing. You don't need those ins and outs.
The Cardinals, and Lewis is, I don't know if he's being tongue in cheek. There's people on Twitter who are the Cardinals are going to sign Jalen Ramsey after this news. That is not happening. The Cardinals are not trading for Jalen Ramsey. The Cardinals are not doing a reaction.
They would have already done, they would have already done it.
It's over. This was the plan. The Cardinals' plan. You've seen it in real time. This was it, to bring in the 46. Will Johnson is replacing Sean Murphy-Bunting, not Joe Blow, veteran corner overpriced with cooked legs. You see what Marvin Harrison Jr. did to Jalen Ramsey? I don't want any part of that. That guy's making too much money and is a little bit of a jag-off in the locker room. No thanks. They're good. We're all fine here. Now, fine. How are you? Let's get into the depth chart. Anything else on Sean Murphy-Bunting before we dive into the Cardinals secondary 2.0 here? No,
we just wish him well. We do.
We do.
You hope that and you hope that he's able to bounce back from the injury. Still, a guy that's a vet but not too old and should be able to find more years in the league beyond this.
Lewis, we know you're being sarcastic. We appreciate you, my guy. We appreciate everybody. Drop a like. We almost got 400 people watching live already. Hopefully people didn't take my intro as a shot at Sean Murphy-Bunting, rather tongue in cheek. We hope that you guys watch the show and invest time into watching the show and subscribing, because when we say things, when we put things out there, even if we can't be forefront with the information, it's typically if we're we don't expect so-and-so to be around or so-and-so is not doing great. It's usually we try to be fact-based. We're not just throwing stuff. And so when this news came out today, it was not a surprise. Will you be surprised by the Cardinals secondary depth chart 2.0? We're going to break down who remains post Sean Murphy-Bunting's absence. It's PHNX Cardinals. I'm never absent with our friends at Bet365. I'm on that bad boy. I'm on that app every single day using the bonus code PHNX365 to sign up. The app itself, 90 million users worldwide. They've got 780,000 events each year. They have pioneered live in-game betting, again, across the NHL, NBA landscape. Now is the time to load up. How about that Knicks choke job last night? I hope you made some money on the over. Hope you made some money on Indianapolis. The Pacers, how they doing? That's looking strong right now. Probably preseason for them to win the East. Probably making a couple shekels with our friends at Bet365. And, of course, we've got Slam Dunk Saturday coming up. And every day we've got the 100% parlay boost when you use the bonus code PHNX365. Again, new customers right now can bet $5 after depositing $10. And they're going to get $150 in bonus bets, regardless of if you win or lose. Those can be used on player props, futures, spreads, totals, whatever. But whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with Bet365. Got to be 21 years and older, physically located in Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov for more info.
When you're dealing with all those winnings from our friends over at Bet365, you need a safe place that you're confident you can store your money. How about Desert Financial Credit Union? You're an Arizona sports fan. No better place to do your banking than Desert Financial Credit Union, the place where you can show your team spirit every time you make a purchase with your exclusive debit cards branded with your favorite teams like the Cardinals, ASU, NAU, wherever it may be. 84 years, Desert Financial has been Arizona's largest, most trusted local credit union, dedicated to creating exceptional experiences and giving back to the community and providing financial solutions to make lives even better, because that's what it's all about. Desert Financial team and the financial experts are committed to their members and the community by offering financial solutions tailored to helping people achieve their financial goals and dreams. Look to Desert Financial for checking, savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. Join the credit union that's committed to giving back and to the community and sharing success with its members. If you open a free checking account online, get $200 in bonuses. Get started by visiting desertfinancial.com/200 to get that free $200. That's a good amount of cheese there, just getting it for free by opening up a free checking account. desertfinancial.com/200.
Big thanks to all of our sponsors today, including our next one up. This segment brought to you by our friends at Branded Bills. Elevate your brand with Branded Bills, the perfect headwear and apparel. Use the bonus code PHNX for 20% off your first order. Despite the injury, Cardinals are elevating defensively and are poised for a monster year with or without Sean Murphy-Bunting. Damon, let's go ahead. Let's look at this tweet here that came across my timeline today. It's from our guy, Nate Tice, does a nice job. Nobody, absolutely nobody, still nobody. Me and May, the Arizona Cardinals defense ranked 10th in EPA play from week 9 onward last season. And of course, was coinciding well with the, I believe, the 3-game home shutout touchdown streak for Nick Rallis' group. It's a big reason why, Brack, we feel like this unit is poised for a top 10 finish this year. That was without a pass rush. That was with a bunch of injured players. Darius Robinson not playing. If you look back at the Cardinals' schedule defensively, really, after the Packer game on October 13th, you talk about Chargers, Jets, Seahawks twice, Vikings, New England, Rams, Niners. The only game where the defense, I think, performed below expectations was Carolina in overtime, giving up 36 points because they were gassed. It was the end of the year. The team didn't have the kind of depth you needed. The offense couldn't take care of business. They couldn't close that game out. But you look at holding the Rams to 13 points, 49ers 24 and 23 points respectfully.
Yeah.
Seattle, the Cardinals had a couple bad turnovers by K1, but at Seattle, 16 points allowed. New England, 17 points. I mean, this defense, Jets, 6 points. Chargers, 15 points. Chicago Bears, they completely, shut them down. It's a defense that it's easy to see why we're so bullish on this unit, especially with the infusion of talent this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, good coaching and good players, man. I mean, that's just the recipe for success. We were talking to somebody close to the situation, joking like, hey, Nick Rallis, man, excited about, a top 10 defense. And the response was, if he's got a top 10, if it's just top 10, he's going to be fired, because what they believe they have as far as this roster in place. I mean, and I think you look at last year, just kind of is that part of the resume. It's really impressive what Nick Rallis was able to do with the personnel he had in place or lack thereof. And what you just kind of ran down there to have a stint where they went 3 consecutive games at home and didn't surrender a touchdown, and that bend don't break mentality, and not having the personnel that could win in favorable matchups or one-on-one matchups when you need a big play on second, third down, and opposing offenses could sustain drives, but you're able not to surrender touchdowns. I mean, that's a true testament to how, nasty Nick Rallis is as a defensive coordinator. And now you give him just the elements of a good defense with what you've done to the defensive front seven, and getting a guy that projects like Will Johnson does, along with the guys that are developing, man, it is truly an exciting time to think about that side of the football for the Arizona Cardinals.
It is an exciting time. This team, I mean, what they lack maybe in cohesiveness already, they make up for it in athleticism. And we're not even talking about, the plethora of defensive tackles that they brought in. We're talking exclusively the secondary, which, by the way, was probably their most consistent unit as a defense last year without Will Johnson, without a pass rush. So, it was great. You saw the Cardinals put out some film and some B-roll, some clips on their social media last week during minicamp that's closed to the media and the public. And you saw like Garrett Williams and Budda Baker, running these interception drills. And I'm sure they've done it in years prior. It's a common practice, rep drill, but it just feels like this year, like those players are going to have opportunities to get their hands on the football. I mean, you said it. Budda Baker, Adam, he's like, I want to take the football away this year. I want more interceptions. Garrett Williams already a nose for the football. This unit is going to have so many more opportunities now. There will be defensive touchdowns, defensive scores. It's a violent, disruptive unit that flipped its front seven on its face, and it's unrecognizable. Let's take a look at the 2025 Cardinals cornerback room as it stands right now. There are 7 notables, and here they are. Leading the way is Garrett Williams, who plays underneath, Max Melton, Will Johnson, both second-rounders, just a year apart. Starling Thomas, who was claimed as an undrafted player once upon a time, 25. He's the elder statesman of the group. Keitrell Clark, a former 6th-round pick. Elijah Jones last year didn't play at all as a 3rd-rounder, already 25. And then Denzel Burke, the 5th-rounder, who we think also has a future potentially at safety, certainly a special teamer. Looking at this position group right now, Bo, give me your hierarchy on who's playing where and who might be on the outside looking in.
No, I mean, you could Sharpie in Garrett Williams to his normal slot corner position. That's viewed as a starting role for Jonathan Gannon and Nick Rallis' defense. So there you go. That's locked in. And I think they find ways to keep Garrett Williams on the field even when a slot corner is not needed. And then I think you start with, and this is no disrespect to Starling Thomas, but I think you go with the 2 guys that you've taken with top 50 picks in the last 2 drafts, Max Melton and Will Johnson. So I kind of think it just kind of goes in order here. And then I'll put Denzel Burke just on the outside of this, and Elijah Jones, and then Keitrell Clark.
Yeah. To me, it's like if you sign a veteran, is that veteran playing special teams? Because you want Max Melton and Will Johnson to have as many opportunities as possible. Garrett Williams, if he plays like he did last year, is going to get a hefty contract that likely pays him amongst the best slot corners in the NFL. Like, he's going to get extended. You take Max Melton and Will Johnson as top 50 players to eventually hopefully get extensions as well. Like, that's the goal for this. It's not let's take Byron Murphy and Zach Allen as day 2 players and then bring in veterans to block them in their development. That's what the Cardinals love to do under the prior regime. Like, you got to be able to take the good with the bad. Like, there will be times where Will Johnson looks like a rookie, but then you hope is by December, January, he's making big time plays for you to make the playoffs. God forbid to win a division title. You're signing free agents right now. They take up space figuratively and literally. They take up cap space. And then you're also putting yourself in a position where we've talked to people close to the team. Like, the way you get better is by playing. You need reps. You need to play. Will Johnson played a lot of high-end college football. He was the best corner in college football 2 years ago, right? He needs to play. He needs to run with the 1s and 2s to begin training camp. You're bringing in Jalen Ramsey, Asante Samuel Jr. Like, that's stunts. We've seen those guys. Now, I was open to Asante Samuel Jr. like early in the offseason before Will Johnson was here, because Asante Samuel Jr. is in should be the sweet spot of his career. He's already played good football. He's not 30, but now it's like those moves don't make sense for the Cardinals. Like, could they pick up a guy waiver claims? Sure, I guess, but this is the group. This is the group they're going to be riding with. And again, you got 2 top 50 picks at the position in consecutive years and a stud slot corner. What more do you need? You don't need anything else.
And if you're a free agent, and I know at this point in the offseason, you're not having people hitting up your phone that often, but if you are a free agent that does have options, this is not an appealing one. The opportunity is not there. They're going to go in and you're going to have to bide your time. You're going to have an injury or a significant fall off as far as production. And it's not there. So it doesn't seem like it's a spot, and those people kind of clamoring for, an addition of any variety of somebody that to come in via trade or free agency. There's just not a need. The numbers don't add up. The math doesn't math as far as this one. This is the group. And if you noticed it, like as Johnny pointed out, like all of them were drafted onto this team outside of Starling Thomas, and Starling Thomas was undrafted and was released at the end of the preseason, and Monty Ossenfort savvily picked him up and added him right to the roster. And he played, he started that season for him and has really developed into somebody. Like all these guys, you can make the case have been developed by this organization, and it's exciting, man. I mean, they are not short at that position by any means. They remain. I think it's a strength as far as the players and the quality of players that they have in that room. Like, I'm concerned that Elijah Jones, that they utilize the top 100 pick on, like, is he going to get enough hay? Like, does he become a guy that can you even get enough reps for this guy to make him, an asset, like a trade asset?
Yeah, I think he's going to end up. I mean, he could force his way. I mean, I have no idea the kind of caliber of player he is. No one does, unless you go back and you watch his college tape. It's just that we got nothing to go with from last year. I mean, I hate to say this, he's in a very similar position as like a John Gaines from the year before. Cardinals had so many top 100 picks last year, and now like Will Johnson's probably the worst thing to happen to somebody like Elijah Jones, because Will Johnson is just a far better prospect and football player. I mean, he's just more physically gifted and is going to be able to come in. I mean, we had a chance to connect with him Saturday night. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Yeah. And I pray for anybody that gets in his way. He is going to be, he is going to be an alpha dog for the Cardinals. And then like Max Melton's just a starter last year. He's a good player. He got better as the season went on. Go watch that game against the Chargers on Monday Night Football. He's got to go ISO on a lot of those wide receivers by himself. This is a position that has suddenly been has an influx of just some of the best talent on the team. And then it's not the same position, but it's the same unit. Taylor Demerson's going to play a lot, and he's got tremendous ball skills. I mean, the Cardinals secondary is going to be a dogfight, and it's the kind of unit that really has a chance to exploit Sam Darnold if he gets pressured. Stafford's been known to turn the football over. Brock Purdy, we've seen it before. Like, these are the guys that are going to really take advantage. So I'm fired up to watch this unit, especially during camp and in preseason, because Keitrell Clark, Starling Thomas would be claimed by other teams, are good football players. But what is their ceiling compared to two guys that you've invested a premium? And it's not just where the Cardinals took Max Melton and Will Johnson, but we know what their upside is. They are over 6 foot. They have good ball skills. Will Johnson has exceptional ball skills. Like that. That's what the Cardinals want from their position.
Yeah. Yeah, I see this. Like, I think Jones has the ability to kind of do what Max Melton did last year and play a lot on teams.
Yeah.
Carve out a role from there. And then if he can take advantage of the few defensive snaps he gets in the secondary, it just bodes well for him. It's just overall, it's a good place to be. Just top to bottom with the secondary. And you brought in like Buda, JT, Rabbit, Taylor Demerson, Joey Blunt, who also stars on special teams. Like, that is going to be a tough position group if you're an outsider to crack. It's just you have about the biggest uphill climb in the organization once training camps kicks off in late July.
I mean, the Cardinals are going to be able to run. You have a 53-man roster, and by the time we settle on it in early September, they're going to be able to run almost like the equivalent of like 2 starting caliber defenses, in my opinion. Like, think about that for a second. Like, maybe save for off-ball linebacker. Like, we would feel comfortable with Starling Thomas starting games, Taylor Demerson starting games. Then you look at the defensive line. It's like Dante Stills is not going to be a starter, but he's been a starter. He'd be a good starter, right? Guys like Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols, what do you do with them? Walter Nolan, Darius Robinson, Calais, and LJ Collier and Dalvin Tomlinson. I mean, it's just the players that, I mean, we're going to have to bring out, maybe we'll do this on tomorrow's show, the stark contrast between the Cardinals' opening day defense last year against the Buffalo Bills and what they're going to trot out this year. Remember, B.J. Ojulari was hurt. Darius Robinson didn't play. It is going to be a complete overhaul. Like, unless your name is Budda Baker and Jalen Thompson and Garrett Williams and Max Melton, like, I would venture to say the Cardinals are going to have at minimum like 6 to 7 new starters defensively, all of which, in my opinion, will be substantial upgrades for this team.
Yeah. Let's see. Animal TV saying Jones and Clark, one of them doesn't make this team. it's a very real possibility. And now going into year 3 under the current regime, you start to look at things that didn't necessarily mean anything, especially with holdovers from the previous decision makers, coaches and front office members and general managers, where like draft status didn't matter, contract status didn't matter. But like when you pit Elijah Jones, and albeit he was on a red shirt year because of an injury last year, he's going into year 2. He's a 3rd round pick. He's going, and he's 6'1", 185. He's going up against Keitrell Clark, who's 5'10", former 6th round pick, who has all the respect of his teammates. Like Garrett Williams, that's his guy. Michael Wilson's been very complimentary of Keitrell Clark. People love Keitrell Clark. He's just limited as far as why he was a 6th round pick. I think because the room for the most part is in place, the back end of it, they would probably fill that spot with a guy they used the top 100 pick on, 6'1".
I mean, Keitrell Clark had a tough time making this roster last year. Remember, we were talking about that? He was a fringe guy last year.
Yeah.
Starling Thomas is, in my opinion, maybe a better cover corner. I mean, Keitrell Clark didn't really play until like the finale last year, remember? And he did a good job against Dobbs.
Nearly had a pick. Nearly had a pick.
Yeah. He's an NFL player. He's a caliber player that I think he would be claimed, undoubtedly. I think he's a practice squad player in the slightest. The Cardinals, though, and like I believe Austin Ford when he said this, I don't think the Cardinals go into drafts like we need to draft X amount of corners. I think it's just broke the 3 years with Austin Ford. Number one, who you have in your building, Gannon can evaluate DBs better than anybody. And it's like when he likes a defensive back and they have the consensus on one, they're probably going to be more likely, well, we can always use more corners, right? And that's why you get Garrett Williams, Keitrell Clark, Max Melton, Elijah Jones, right? They took another kid, Jaden Davis, we didn't even include on here, the kid out of Miami from last year's roster. And then this year they took 2 more. I don't know if that'll be the norm every year, but I can wrap my brain around it. I also it was the best value to take, right? Like the 2nd round last year when Max got taken, like when they traded down, it was like, what corner are they going to get? We knew they were going to take a corner. And then this year, we knew what was going down, but we also read the tea leaves like, well, clearly they like Will Johnson. Clearly they brought him in. He's going to be somebody to keep on their radar. And sure enough, he ended up with them at 47. So they have done their due diligence and the groundwork to put together a secondary where, on paper, like you really shouldn't have to touch this unit moving forward. Like this, if everything works out, this should be the group for the next couple of years.
This needs to be the emerging group.
Yeah.
As far as the NFL goes, like there's established group. There's everybody wants to kind of really, especially at this time of year, they're talking about the proven commodities, what they know to be true. This is the one that should be budding. Like when you look at what's been invested in it, where the strength of the coaching staff is, and the skill sets of these players and what they project to be, man, like this needs to be a budding group. And, it's going to come down to as well, the revamped defensive line playing their part in this and the Russian cover. But like there should be, I think there's a high amount of confidence in this rebuilt defensive secondary over the last 3 drafts going into 2025.
And you think about like the deterioration of the Seattle Seahawks receiving core, and you think about San Francisco, Debo, Ayuk gone, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett gone, Puka Nacua, and an aging Devontae Adams. Like the Cardinals should have some distinct matchup advantages here with their secondary in the division.
We do this a lot, right? And I know at some point people are kind of getting tired of it, and like how often are you going to harken back on the old regime? And
a lot. We'll do it every chance we get.
Just keep in mind that like when they needed a defensive back, when their back was against the wall, they utilized a 3rd round pick on a guy that was a converted running back out of Texas A&M. That was their solution. And like they how many times did they utilize top 100 picks, Johnny, on corners?
Well, Seth Cox of Revenge of the Birds, who's my buddy, put out a stat. I think it was just Patrick Peterson.
Well, I mean, Peterson was great.
Or no, he was Rod Graves. Was he?
Yeah.
Did he do it ever?
I don't think he took a corner. I mean, he took Byron Murphy, which was 33rd overall.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was it.
There you go.
I think that was it.
Okay. I mean, it was. This goes without saying. He just didn't know what he was doing. He just didn't know how to draft. Didn't know what he was doing, especially when Bruce Arians left. Like, yeah, Marco Wilson, a 4th rounder who threw a shoe at Florida. He was the guy. And then we were like, get him off the team. We couldn't get. I was fired up to see Marco Wilson maybe shine under Gannon, and then we could not get him off the team fast enough. It just shows you like how many of those guys, specifically defensively, offensively, like James and Kyler and Trey, some of those guys stuck around. Greg Dortch. When Gannon and Ossenford saw the remaining pieces defensively, they were like, "Good hell! Unless you're Budda Baker, Jalen Thompson, get away from me. Get away from us." We did shows, not to get off on a tangent here, where it was like Cardinals took 2 third-rounders in 2022, right? Same year they took Trey, Majay Sanders and Cameron Thomas. And we're like, oh, these are 2 good building blocks. And Gannon and us were like, can't play. Get him off the team. Literally, like, can't trade him. Majay Sanders just gets cut. He's out of the league, I think. That's what the Cardinals were doing. How the Cardinals ever won games with Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury is beyond me. But they made it clear, like, none of you guys can play. Marco Wilson, Isaiah Simmons, get out. Like, give credit where credit's due, like Zaven Collins. He's like, I'll change position. I'll do whatever you need for me. I will bust my butt.
Yeah. I'll mop floors. I'll do whatever it takes to stay here. Please. Please.
Unbelievable. That was our offseason. Every year it was just like, how do we talk ourselves into these moves?
That secondary that you're pointing out, Marco Wilson was de facto CB1.
That's a
and
great
we're trying to talk ourselves into Antonio Hamilton as a starting corner. I mean, it was true poverty times.
This defense. All right, tomorrow's show, we're going to get super chats here in just a second. Tomorrow's show, we will look at the contrast between maybe like when Keim left and then this defense now. It is stark, friends.
It was a late night infomercial type thing. It was just like, this is the Arizona Cardinals and this is who they're starting in the defensive secondary. Please help. Please contribute so they can get some draft capital so they can get some decent cornerbacks in this room.
They tried to they were like, well, we can't do it all in one offseason. Let's just keep Lucetta and Dumakaji and Gardeck. Let's just keep them around. We need to fill out this roster like that. Monty Ossenford, we gave him a tough time at the start of free agency, or I'd like to say we challenged him, right? And he rose and exceeded expectations. What this man has done, it's my article's dropping at gophnx.com tomorrow. It's free. Everybody can read it. The Cardinals have drafted 28 rookies in 3 years. 28 rookies on this roster, and all of them are still with the team in some capacity. Is that nuts? That tells you they know what they like. You're a priority. We're going to develop you. People are talking about, let's get veterans that nobody wants, that are old and expensive, to come in and block the players that this team researches all fall drafts. It's like, I will never forget. The Cardinals had a nice draft with Kyler Murray, Byron Murphy, and Zach Allen. And it was like Vance Joseph had wanted nothing to do with playing Byron Murphy. Just didn't want to develop him. Mm-hmm. Zach Allen couldn't stay healthy. You're like, this guy can't play. They let those guys leave, right? It's not Ossenford's fault. He was just coming in the job. Those guys are star players elsewhere. They just couldn't. They didn't know how to develop. They couldn't. Even when they lucked into good players, they didn't know what to do with them.
Right. Harry Palmer, PI, interesting name, but suggesting the all Keim team. That would be a fun little exercise.
Is that
my God.
Good players or just disasters? I think we do the all Keim team, and it's it's led by Simmons and those guys.
Oh yeah,
Andy Isabella is team captain.
Yes. Trade for
John
Hollywood
Rosen
Brown
at quarterback, right?
Yeah,
or Sam Bradford, who's more of a Keim guy.
Oh gosh, it's Rosen for sure. Trading for, there's Troy Nicholas at tight end, the kid from Grambling State at wide receiver, Chad Williams at wide out, Hollywood Brown trade at wide out. Simmons, we got the Dorian, the kid from the 4th rounder who never played.
This linebacking core is special.
Oh man, the linebacking core, you're gonna have a tough time finding the two trees, right? Do you go just because of the quote?
I think it's Isaiah Simmons and Kevin Minter, Mason Cole at center. Remember, Mason Cole couldn't play a third-round center. Robert Kimdichie, the star of the defensive line, no doubt about it.
Did you? Yeah. Did you ever see the clip I think I sent it to you of Kevin Mentor? And he's telling one of his first practices with the Arizona Cardinals under Bruce Arians. Kevin Mentor comes in as a second-round pick from LSU. He's telling this story about how he basically lit up Carson Palmer. Really had no clue that you couldn't hit the quarterback.
Nice.
Actually, I'm sorry. He hit Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, okay.
He lit up Larry Fitzgerald in one of his first practices, and he pretty almost was escorted out of the facility as a second-round pick.
God. You guys are crushing in the chat. There are so many names. All right, we'll have to do that in the peak of this offseason.
Yes. Don't forget Billy Price.
It'll be the all-Keim team, free agents and draft picks alike, and it will be a sight to see. Thankfully, we're in a much better place now. Your super chats and more coming up. It's PHNX Cardinals.
The all-Keim team. You know what you need for that exercise? Some pure edibles. It's the only thing that's going to get you through it. It's the only proper way to get through that nightmare. Oh, man. It's like you got to visit your Prius from Dirty Mike and the boys. That's what the all-Keim team is. No, pure edibles is going to make every experience enjoyable because they have their effects clearly listed on each 10, so you know exactly what to expect from their gummies. Check them out. They're founded in Arizona, available in 130 dispensaries statewide. 130 dispensaries statewide. They're not covered in sugar like some of their competitors, but they're a full-fledged candy company offering gummies, kicks like their Starburst there. They've got chews that are caramels and hard candies. Check them out. Gummies for sleep support, as well as candies with uplifting effects derived from unique cannabinoids such as CBN, CBG, CBD, and marijuana derived from THC. Created up the I-17 in Flagstaff at Noble Herb Dispensary, now called Phoenix home. They're in the big leagues. Their gummies designed to be ripped, bit in half, making them easily shareable and easily dial in that exact dose. Check them out. Go find yourself some pure edible products from one of the 130 dispensaries across Arizona. Pure edibles.
You're not going anywhere near that Prius. I'll tell you what you need to go near. Our friends at Empire Today, empiretoday.com/PHNX. Just like the Cardinals have built a foundation to stand on with their secondary, Empire Today is going to build you a floor that you can't get anywhere else. We're talking elite customer service. Again, people that are going to take care of you the premier way with their virtual floor design to see how new floors will look in any space. Their philosophy is to help find you what you need, not to overwhelm you with choices and substitutes and slogans, right? They're shopping right now for you. They're going to make you happy and proud with the job that you decide that they do for you. They live and breathe flooring, so you can be confident you're getting an honest, upfront piece of advice. They pride themselves on convenient at-home service. They help their customers shop for floors when they need to. Right now, we're going to hook you up. PHNX right now, using the bonus code, the promo code PHNX is going to get you $350 off. Service their own warranties. If an issue does arise, just call them right now at Empire. They're going to take care of you. Go to empiretoday.com/PHNX for details. Again, PHNX, the bonus code, $350 off.
Wow.
Again, they're here to help you. Check them out. Empire Today, Bo.
Love that. Empire Today, the pros over there, they know exactly what you're going to need as far as your flooring goes. Wrapping up a Thursday PHNX Cardinals with your super chats, and continuing with you guys crushing it in the chat and your Keim time entries. Let's get into some of these super chats if we could. Who do we have to kick
Potato
things
Bread.
off? Yeah, what's up, Potato Bread? It's been a minute. $9.99. Thank you for that generous super chat. Who's your all favorite cornerback duo going to be now that SMB is gone for the season? Mine's going to be Garrett Williams and Will Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, Max Melton's a dog. I think that's the trio right now that they're going to roll with. They're hyper athletic, take the ball away. Really like all three of those guys.
I don't think Garrett Williams kicks out. I think primarily his role is established, and he's going to own that going forward. That was the vision when they drafted him, and it's not. it's not like a knock of especially the way that Gannon and Rallis view that spot for Garrett Williams is very important. It's vital as their group, and now it's just going to be like who kicks outside, who are the outside corners for this team, and they're not short on options. I think it's Melton. I think it's Will Johnson.
You said during our draft coverage, the minute Will Johnson was drafted, we were all processing it. And we were excited about the news. And you're like, yeah, I think he's going to start immediately. Mm-hmm. And ever since you said that, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Like they're just, with respect to Starling Thomas, who's been in the league for a while, we knew the news about Sean Murphy-Bunting then. It's like, what are we doing? If Will Johnson is healthy, you're not sitting him, especially like if his knee isn't long for the NFL. Let's say it's got 8 years. Let's say it's got 10. Like, get him on the field. He needs to play, right? He's got to earn it. But this is the beauty about this position group is like, or this coaching staff. Michael Wilson came in, earned it right away. Like these guys who play top end college football come in and dominate in training camp. Like no one's getting blocked here. You know, they're in really good hands. Let's keep things going. Matthew Martell just saying bye to Sean Murphy-Bunting, 199. We wish him well. I love Matthew Martell's avatar. It's Kyler Murray and Yoda. I'm into that, but we do. I mean, Sean Murphy-Bunting not playing in the NFL this year. He will get released next offseason is my prediction, and he'll sign with another team, and he'll be just fine.
It's a very strange AI just to get Kyler Murray and Yoda.
Well, he's baby. Kyler's like baby Yoda, so yeah, I think it's appropriate.
Was he kissing Yoda on the cheek?
Yeah, what was going on there?
I guess that's more of like my concern was Johnny being like into that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. I don't hate it. I mean,
well, that's who all it matters. Like as long as Star Wars snob Johnny isn't thrown off, like, well, actually, Kyler Murray isn't part of Star Wars, and I don't want to see those two.
Listen,
those two. Those you don't cross those paths.
That's not canon.
No, it's definitely not canon.
I can't, Bo. Even when Bo's trying to be disingenuous about Star Wars, I just can't listen to it.
Have you guys seen? I noticed this driving down 7th Street. And it's just on the other side, I think, of right when you come up the bridge, Damon, and there's the ballpark. There's a gigantic yellow TIE fighter.
There's a yellow TIE fighter?
It's like full sized. Have you seen that thing?
I have not. It's on 7th right here. Like near Roosevelt?
There's like a metal works. Like if you just go down 7th Street,
and
you go south,
so south of where we are,
the stadium, south of Chase, and then you look to the east side. There's like gigantic, like the actual full size TIE fighter would be.
Why is it yellow?
I have no idea.
Is the business that it's promoting yellow color scheme?
No idea.
There are only 3 kind of color TIE fighters. There's blue, gray, and black. That's it. Now, if you have a toy TIE fighter and it's been in the sun over time, and old plastic can get yellow, but that's about it. There are no like traditional TIE fighters that are multicolored. The Empire wouldn't have that.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous concept.
Now, interesting enough, not to get off on a tangent.
We'll be the judge of that if it's interesting or not.
No, I'll table that. I'll table this nugget for another show before Bo loses it. Aaron Van Buren, $2. Favorite moment other than Super Bowl 43, Bo, for you as a Cards fan? You go first, and I'll give mine.
I think probably the 75-yard Carson Palmer to Larry Fitzgerald setting up the little shovel pass touchdown to beat the Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the divisional round.
It's that, or it's a coin flip for me where Dansby in overtime sacks Aaron Rodgers and has the score for or Dansby got the interception. It was Mike Adams who had a sack on Aaron Rodgers. That game where Warner had more touchdowns, 5, than incompletions, 4. I mean, though it's a toss up between those 2 games for me.
You got one, Damon?
I would say I have to say what you said, not to cheat, but that whole game from Larry Fitzgerald was unbelievable to watch. I mean, I've never seen a wide receiver take over playoff games the way Larry Fitzgerald took over multiple playoff games.
And I'll say this just as a honorable mention: the Hail Murray because and I know they had the touchdown pass that beat the Vikings way back when, like in the early 2000s, but you don't get a lot of wins like that.
No. And it stinks that they couldn't take advantage of it and make the playoffs that year, and it was a COVID year and everything else. But I mean, everything leading up to the Super Bowl in 43, like the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, going on the road, beating Carolina, just destroying Jake Delhomme on his birthday. If you're watching with us on one of our many streaming partners, jump on over to gophnx.com. We are doing OT, baby. It's overtime here as we continue with your Super Chats. OT. Let's keep things going here. There we go. OT, overtime. The conversation continues with Chubb, $2, Bo. Elijah Jones still hasn't played much. Was he injured all of last year? Did he even participate in training camp?
He did participate in training camp. He was a guy that suffered, I think, the injury in the final preseason game. He played in all preseason, and then the week leading up to the Cardinals season opener, he was somebody that just couldn't get healthy. They put him on IR along with Darius Robinson. There was quite a few guys that made it. He was designated to return. That window opened and then it closed. They just never deemed him healthy enough to come back. So he's one of those few guys that gets designated return and then just ended up never being activated. So just a true medical red shirt season for Elijah Jones.
Deep. Is that like maple syrup? Yeah.
$2 right there.
Yeah. The secondary is refreshing as a sugar.
It all makes sense now.
You're damn right it is. We've come a long way. Me with my sugar-free mochas, Austin Ford and Gannon with the secondary. It's all coming together, as you said, Bo.
It's this person making their entire identity the Mocha Gate, deep syrup with the profile pic of some sugar-free syrup there. That's unbelievable.
I thought we all agreed never to speak of that again. I thought that we had come to a synopsis.
We'll never let you off the hook. Then history repeats itself. We don't want that.
I'll never give up sugar
again. Want people to get hurt again. We don't want people to get hurt again like Damon, myself, and Shane when we lost all that respect for you on that trip.
I want to hurt all three of you. Trevor, 199. Can't wait for the season Johnny Star Wars talk. And then Trevor following up 199. PHNX Star Wars hosted by Johnny. That would never work because who's going to talk it with me at this company? Who can hang and spar with me Star Wars wise like Bo does with Cardinal football? I don't want to just listen to myself.
Man, that's so hurtful.
I mean, I would never say I'm on Johnny Venerable's Star Wars level, but I could hold a conversation.
That was I in real time was watching Johnny stab Damon in the back. I mean, that was brutal to watch.
Derek, also a big time Star Wars guy. I mean,
isn't Gerald too?
Gerald, whatever, man.
I remember Gerald used to, who of course PHNX Sons. He hosted like one of his TV show talks, and it was Star Wars, and it was like all you dorks getting together and just breaking it down.
When he would have me on the show, it was bad because it was like he and Derek would be happy about like one of the new Disney shows, and I would come on. And I just would not be complimentary of it. And I would try to take over the conversation. And then I'm pretty sure I got that show removed from the YouTube page because I just went too hard in the paint. Damon, I'm sorry. Damon is a prequel trilogy savant. I don't know about his original trilogy acumen. Yeah. Let me test you right now. Let me test Damon right now. We got 422 people watching right now. Damon, can you tell me why Luke Skywalker's lightsaber in Return of the Jedi was green?
Well, his hand got cut off, right? So he lost the blue one, which used to be Anakin's lightsaber. And
why was it green in Return of the Jedi?
Does it have anything to do with, his connection to Yoda through the Force?
It does not.
When he found his new...
It does not.
Crystal?
No, none of those reasons. Unfortunately, they shot the film with the intent of making it blue again with his new lightsaber. And then with Bo's family and his heritage with Jabba's sail barge, when they had Luke Skywalker on Jabba's sail barge with a blue lightsaber, it was not showing up in post-production. So in all the promotional material, it was supposed to be blue. So they had to change it to green so it would appear on screen. So little fun fact for everybody.
For the two still watching that haven't dropped off, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't done so already.
It's the off season. We're allowed to do this. Is allowed. Just wait till Bo's on paternity leave. Things are going to get weird.
I did see because I'll just sometimes something will show up on my Twitter timeline, and it's like, I think one of the new Disney shows. There's one of the the teen ones, like the lightsaber change colors, and I just know Johnny was like,
that's the Acolyte. We don't talk about that show yet.
Yeah, Johnny was like Clint Eastwood character watching that unfold in front of him live on a Tuesday night. Just
nothing
furious.
Against the actors on the show. It was just horrific writing. Just defeated all lore and canon. It went against everything that we Star Wars fans stand for morally. So I made Damon watched it. Damon knows how bad it was.
I agree with Johnny, just in a slightly, less passionate, fiery anger than him.
It was canceled. Right. They don't cancel anything. They came out like, this show is so bad we had to cancel it. It's been canceled. Easy Money Chubbs, $4.99 before I get canceled.
Get back on track, my man.
If the GM spot was this is not getting this on back on track.
Yeah.
It just basically Keim is not a good GM. I got in trouble yesterday, Brian, super chat at the end of the show. You guys were trying to dupe me, and people call me Ron Burgundy. How I read these super chats, I'll read anything.
Yeah. Somebody tagged us in a meme of that today too.
I saw that an AI meme. You guys are wilding. This is wild.
Alex, $4.99 Bo's face when realizing he hosts a pod with a couple of nerds. Yeah.
You have to have with this team historically hobbies to balance out, because there's just been so much losing and dysfunction. Like Packer fans, their entire life can be the Green Bay Packers, because they're always good. Map out your postseason, get your tickets ready to go. You crush the offseason. Historically, for me, it's just like I need some joy in my life, and this team has just hurt me so many times. I mean, you know that with historically your Orioles, like you have to have some levity here.
Yeah.
No, she hates it, Dana. She hates it as well. She doesn't like any of it.
Are you gonna say go F yourself, AZ?
I would not do that. I think I would have the wherewithal not to do that. I think I would hope that everybody would not put that in the super chat too.
Unbelievable Thursday show. Some juice. Brian P jumping in right before
you didn't get me in trouble, Brian. You're good.
Brian says, "Oh, my bad. I didn't mean to get you in trouble." No, we're all good. We're all good.
We can, keep especially after we, dip out of our streaming partners. This is like the Wild Wild West. Anything goes.
Yeah, this is international waters right here. This gets us back to our roots as a podcast, where you could just really say anything.
Before we started streaming, Bo and I just would let it rip. But why the Gamorrean guard toy? That's a bit of a deep cut. For me, it's not though, Tony. For me, it's not. Can never have enough Gamorrean guards. Yeah,
Johnny, do you have any action figures laying around in arm's distance right now?
They're not in arm's distance right now, and I don't want to extend the show any further. But I mean, I'm looking at just a treasure trove. I mean, if you give me an obscure character, I'm sure I could go grab it.
He's catching eyes with, like, every time he looks around his room, he's catching eyes with memorabilia and toys.
He like speaks to his like Darth Vader and Boba Fett helmets right in front of him as he's doing his podcast.
Those helmets are worth more than you guys would ever know. 24-hour stream, King Louis wants it.
Let me ask you this: is there anything you're eyeing to add to your collection? Anything on your radar?
No, I'm very fortunate. It's when I want something, I snatch it up. That's how I roll. I don't want to say what I'm eyeing, because I'm afraid people would send it to me, and I don't want to do that. So no, I think I'm pretty well maxed out. I'm running out of space in my office. My wife tells me all the time, "You need to get rid of your stuff." I say, "Over my dead body. Don't touch anything. Don't come in here. This is private." Football stuff, A bunch of good stuff in here. Here, this is one I will say. Hang on one sec. I don't think 400 people are watching. I don't think everybody's seen this. This is one of Bo's favorites. Hang on.
Yeah, we start the show off with hardcore cornerback
This is one of Bo's favorites.
Man.
The PHNX Johnny action figure right here that my buddy made.
Johnny with the PHNX T on.
I've got Star Wars action figures, the steak that I didn't finish. That's me at Disneyland last summer. Yeah. My good friend Blake made this.
Pays attention to the show. Who made that for you?
My good buddy Blake, who lives in Houston, who watches the show. Big supporter.
Unbelievable.
People want to buy it. Trust me. There's just one of one. It's priceless, as the kids say. That's right, Mocha Gate. This was before Mocha Gate. Otherwise, it would definitely come with a mocha.
Yeah, that's the next series that's coming out.
We can't get a T-shirt in the locker for
my action figure will be fast asleep listening to Johnny's Star Wars takes.
Man, what a show! To recap, the Cardinals no longer in the Sean Murphy-Bunting business. So real quick before we get out of here. So NFI, probably should have clarified this. So he doesn't count against the 53-man roster. We don't know the financial parameters.
Doesn't count against the 90 either. So I think that they have, with Stilly getting waived today, and then Murphy-Bunting going on NFI, I believe they've got 2 spots.
So do you think Sean Murphy-Bunting comes around, rehabs, anything like that, or is he just it's just done? He's away from the team.
To rehab to do what? I mean, I would think maybe you just keep him, you let him rehab, and if he gets into a position and then you also have a need, which as we did the numbers crunch, maybe you do it just because you can kind of keep that, you can kind of stash Sean Murphy-Bunting. But yeah, it would be interesting to see, because I think you can negotiate a deal with him. You're not on you don't have to pay his full base salary. Do you negotiate just an injury buyout for the guy?
I think you give him a settlement and let him go and get healthy and try to make a comeback with the team next year. But I think that, I know Prodigy. His Cardinal career is likely over. And Gannon talks to the media next week, and I would assume people are going to press him about this, but they got the guys that they're going to roll with this year.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be much on this.
No,
I do not anticipate getting anything on it outside of they like the room and that they're going to probably wish Sean Murphy-Bunting speedy recovery, and best of luck to him.
Best of luck to Sean Murphy-Bunting. Big thanks to everybody today. All 400 plus watching live. Do us a favor, subscribe to PHNX Sports. You like what you see. We hope that you do. Get us to 50,000 subscribers. Here's the task. We need you guys to get us to 50,000 subscribers before the kickoff week 1. If you can do that, we're going to be fired up. Help us continue to strengthen our hold as the #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Subscribe to PHNX Cardinals wherever you get your podcasts on your phone. Bo, what do you got?
Yeah, you got Joey Kennedy jumping in with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you, Joey. First time in forever, CB injury doesn't feel devastating. Great point. Very good point. That I mean, even during the Patrick Peterson time, they didn't have any margin for error outside of that was a revolving door opposite P2, and then post P2 there just wasn't much depth there, if any. So any injuries would just crush the team.
King Louis, right? They had 1 year where they had Peterson and Antonio Cromartie, which was coincidentally King Louis. I think they were #1 in defense that year in 2014. That was the last time they've had a truly dominant defense, was in 2014. And I think there's a lot of similarities with this team. I think there's youth. I mean, I'm so fired. I'm fired up to watch this team, but man, all the additions are on defense. It's just, this defense is going to be a sight to behold. We can't wait to do it with all of you throughout the course of the offseason, training camp, mini camp next week, and of course, preseason and the regular season. Do us a favor, like this video, drop a comment down below, helps us exponentially. And of course, hit that like button. For Damon, Dawg, Bo, Brack, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you on a Football Friday.
We all silly like the mayor.